Nathan Harper sat on the edge of his bed, his gaze fixed on the framed photograph of his daughter,
Did you
Emma.
see that?
Her smile, bright, innocent, full of hope, was the only thing that kept him moving forward each day. After his wife's sudden death, life had become a series of hardships, long shifts, and sleepless nights. Yet every morning, he rose with a single purpose: to give Emma a chance at a good life. There was no room for self-pity, no time for regrets, only the steady rhythm of survival. He pulled on his worn jacket and grabbed the keys. Today was another shift at the small accounting firm he'd worked at for years, the same place that barely paid enough to keep the lights on.
You're everything.
As he stepped out into the cold morning
You're
air,
my world.
his thoughts lingered on a voicemail he hadn't yet listened to. One that had arrived late last night from the company's CEO, Charlotte Hayes. Charlotte wasn't just any CEO. She was known throughout the city. Brilliant, beautiful, commanding. A woman who built her company from the ground up and commanded respect in boardrooms where many men felt uneasy. She was everything Nathan was not: wealthy, confident, and untouchable. And yet, for reasons he couldn't yet understand, she'd asked to speak with him personally. His phone buzzed again. He paused, hesitant before pressing play. "Nathan." Charlotte's voice was cool, composed, yet with an undercurrent of urgency. "I need you to come to my office today at 2 o'clock. There's something you must hear, something that affects both your job and your future. Please be on time." He hit delete without listening further. The clock on the wall seemed to move slower with every tick. 2 o'clock couldn't come fast enough. Nathan straightened his tie, a gesture more for pride than professionalism, and made his way to the CEO's office. As he stepped into the gleaming high-rise lobby, he felt out of place, like a grain of sand in a gallery of diamonds. Charlotte stood by the window, her silhouette powerful against the city skyline. When she turned, her eyes held an intensity that made Nathan's heart skip. "Sit," she said, gesturing toward the chair opposite her desk. Nathan obeyed, his mind a whirlwind of questions. "I've asked you here because I need honesty," Charlotte began, her voice steady. "And I know, you deserve the truth about something that's been going on." Nathan blinked, confused. Charlotte took a deep breath. "You've been working here for years. You are diligent, honest, and capable. More than that, you've been carrying a weight I only recently understood." Nathan shifted uneasily. "I'm not sure I follow." Charlotte walked around the desk until she stood directly in front of him. Her eyes softened, but there was a fierce determination in them. "Your daughter, Emma," she said quietly. "I've seen the way you look at her photograph. I know your wife passed away. I know the world hasn't been kind, and I know what it's like to feel alone." Nathan's heart thudded painfully in his chest. "I'm not here to fire you," she continued, "but I am here because I believe in potential, and because I believe in giving people a chance when life has dealt them a hard hand." Nathan opened his mouth to speak, but Charlotte raised a hand. "I want to offer you a position," she said. "A real position, one with benefits, stability, and opportunity. You and Emma deserve that. I want you to lead a new department I'm creating, one focused on community programs for struggling families. I want you to head it." Nathan stared, stunned. "Why me?" he asked, voice barely audible. "Because I see strength in you," Charlotte replied. Strength, most people overlook. There was a silence, heavy, uncertain. Finally, Nathan nodded, overwhelmed. I accept." Charlotte's face broke into a faint smile, the first real one he'd seen. Over the next weeks, Nathan's life changed. The new role was demanding, but fulfilling. Emma's world blossomed with security and joy. Yet through it all, his interactions with Charlotte became more personal, more intimate in their honesty. They talked, not just about work, but about life, loss, dreams, and fears. Nathan found himself drawn to her, not because of who she was, but because she listened. She saw him, truly saw him. Charlotte, for her part, found in Nathan a softness she had long buried beneath years of corporate battles and calculated strength. He was different from every other person she'd ever known, grounded, empathetic, genuine. One afternoon, as they reviewed community program proposals, Charlotte looked up at Nathan, her expression wistful. "You know," she said, almost to herself, "I've waited long enough to feel something real." Nathan's breath caught. "What do you mean?" he asked carefully. Charlotte hesitated, as though weighing every word. "I mean, tonight. I want honesty between us. No masks, no titles, just two people who have, unexpectedly, found something worth exploring." Nathan's heart raced. There was something in her eyes, vulnerability she rarely displayed. He nodded slowly. "I feel it too." The room grew still. Charlotte stood, walked around the desk, and closed the distance between them until only whispers of space remained. "Tonight," she repeated softly, "I want us to be honest about how we feel." Nathan swallowed hard, his world narrowing to this moment, to the woman before him, to the hope he'd almost never allowed himself to have again. That evening, Nathan returned home earlier than usual. Emma greeted him with a hug and a laugh, and for a moment, all the burdens of the world melted away. Dinner was warm and loud, filled with stories of school and dreams of becoming an artist. Emma's joy was infectious, but Nathan's mind wandered, to Charlotte, to the promise in her eyes, to the possibility of something neither of them had expected. After tucking Emma into bed and kissing her forehead, he walked slowly back to the living room, unsure of what awaited him. His phone buzzed, a message from Charlotte. "Be at the rooftop garden of the Hayes building at 8. Dress warmly." Nathan looked out the window at the night sky. Stars dim against the city lights. He paused, breath steadying. Whatever tonight held, he knew he wasn't alone anymore. The rooftop garden was quiet, lit by soft golden lamps, and a gentle breeze that carried the scent of flowers. Charlotte stood by the railing, her silhouette framed by the cityscape. Nathan approached, heart pounding. She turned, her eyes meeting his with an intensity that seemed to still time. "You came," she said simply. "I did," he replied. A silence stretched, heavy with anticipation. Charlotte stepped closer. "I want you to know something," she said, her voice soft but unwavering. "I don't make emotional decisions lightly. But you've changed something in me I thought was long gone. I've waited a long time for honesty, for connection, for someone who sees me, not my status, not my success, but me. And I think we have a chance at something real." Nathan's breath trembled. He reached out, brushing a stray lock of hair from her face. "I never expected this," he admitted. "I never thought someone like you would see someone like me. But you did. And that means more than I can say." Charlotte smiled, a genuine, heartfelt expression that made Nathan's chest tighten. They stood together, the city lights below them, wind whispering through the air, as if urging them forward. In that moment, there were no titles, no fear, no hesitation, only truth. And for the first time in a long while, Nathan felt hope.